technique of the week. You want a technique of the week? I think you do, and I want to give you one. So I'm going to start today. Today I'm starting with cream soup. I'm going to make a cream of broccoli soup, but this recipe could be used and varied in so many different ways, and you'll be able to find all of those recipes online. Cream soup, the base is veloute. Veloute is stock thickened with roux. Roux is a combination of butter and flour. But because I'm making a soup, I want to flavor my roux, so I'm going to add some onion, very finely minced. You want a medium onion. Use your sharp knife for this and make sure it's minced because you want it really small. However, you are going to puree it later, so don't worry about it too much. When I say medium onion minced, I usually mean about 1 cup of minced onion. So I'm adding that right into my butter. Stir it around and cook it for about 8 minutes. This is a very simple flavor base for your soup. Basically, it's just the onion. A lot of soups might use more complicated flavor bases, but this is a really easy recipe to remember. See how they're translucent, but not brown? That's what you're looking for. Add 1/4 cup of flour. So it's equal parts flour and butter to make your roux. And cook it until the raw flour smell goes away. Now comes the part that you might be a little bit afraid of, adding of the liquid to your roux. Now this is the part where you might be afraid it's going to lump up, but if you add your liquid slowly to your roux, it really shouldn't happen. Just keep whisking and whisking and whisking and adding your liquid slowly. Do not stop until most of the liquid is added, and then it's going to be really easy. There won't even be a chance of lumps forming after about half of the stock is added. It's 4 cups of chicken stock. You could use vegetable stock if you wanted this to be vegetarian. I'm also going to add 1 cup of water to my mixture because I find that chicken stock that you buy can be a little bit of salty, and I like to balance it out with a little bit of water. Okay, and whisk that in. It's at a boil now. I'm just going to reduce the heat to medium and let it simmer for about 10 minutes. You want to really cook off the flour taste, and you want to allow the flour in the roux to completely activate so that it's at its full thickening capacity. While that's cooking, prepare your vegetable. I'm using broccoli. So cut up the florets relatively small. You don't want them too big. You don't want it to cook too long because you don't want it to discolor. And then don't forget your stems. Peel those stems. I like to use a paring knife and just pull the tough peel off. This is actually kind of a tough piece. So then I just go in with my chef knife and cut around the stem. Cut it into little pieces. Now I'm ready to add my broccoli, but my veloute is not quite ready yet. Roux has a tendency to collect in the corners of your pot, so go in there with a whisk and whisk it up, or even take a wooden spoon and scrape around the edges. This has been simmering for 10 minutes. It's just slightly more thick. The flour is completely activated. So now I can add my broccoli straight into the pot. Once all your broccoli is in, just give it a stir and then simmer it until the broccoli is very tender, 15 or 20 minutes. You have to make sure that it's cooked enough that when you pierce it, it kind of falls apart because otherwise it won't blend up smooth. So it's done. I'm going to use an immersion blender to blend mine up. It's just nice and easy. Get your cord out of the way and then just put your blender in and blend it up. If you want it really, really fine though, you should use a regular blender. And if you want it extra fine, use the blender and then pass it through a sieve. And then you'll have restaurant quality fineness. You know what's so great about these soups? They're basically creamy already. You can add cream, but because of the veloute base that gives it this really great texture, you almost don't need it. And if you wanted to leave it out, you totally could. I think I'm happy with this texture. Nice and smooth. With soups like this that are going to cook for about a half an hour, you can season a little at the beginning and then taste and season at the end. It definitely needs salt. This broth doesn't have a lot of salt in it. A little bit of pepper too. Why not? Now's when you would add your cream. I'm just going to add a touch. You can use up to 1/4 cup. And that's it. That's pretty easy, don't you think? And delicious and healthy. And you can use that technique to make all different kinds of cream soups, and you can look on our website and find a whole bunch more.